Welcome back, my fellow collector friends. I've got a little presentation here, a little offering for our preferred clients on some very, very special proof Eisenhower dollars. Now, I'm a huge fan of the proof Eisenhower dollar series and the Mint State Eisenhower dollar series, which was struck from 1971 to 1978. It's a beautiful design about a great man who's done so much for our country, both as a general during World War II and as president for 8 years after World War II. But the rarity of the coins in really exceptional condition that makes these coins such great collector coins. Because you see, again, 1971 to 78, that was a transition era at the Mint. During those early years in the Eisenhower dollar series, the Mint was still basically using a lot of technologies that they were using in previous decades. It wasn't until the late 70s when they started using advanced technologies to create the Cameo dies. And in fact, they started using harder steels to strike these Eisenhower dollars. It wasn't until after that transition era that you get into the modern era. But the Eisenhower dollar series posed some real problems at the Mint when they first came out. Number one, again, they were using the old technologies to create the Cameo dies, and they had very poor packaging, so most of your proof Eisenhower dollars, here's a couple in there. This is the original government packaging used back then. And here's a 1971, here's how it would look. And this is actually not too bad a coin. It has some light toning, but it's not what you'd call a Cameo. Here's another one I have here. This is a 1974. And this is so heavily toned, and it's from the materials that they were using in the packaging. I refer to this packaging as a body bag. The longer these coins were stored in this packaging, the worse was their condition. There were materials in the packaging that just reacted with the silver in these planchets that just basically destroyed the coins. So to get an early strike with really heavy Cameo contrast, so well preserved, is a really, really big challenge. Now, I've offered these Ikes in the ultimate grade, the Holy Grail grade of Proof 69 Ultra Cameo. I've offered these sets for the last several months, and you folks have cleaned me out. I don't have any complete sets at this point. They're really hard to get in any condition of Ultra Cameo, but the 6.9s are the ultimate. That's the highest grade in signature series that I've ever signed off on. What I have today are some spectacular Proof 68 Ultra Cameos. I want you to take a look at these coins. I have all 5 of the silver issues in Proof 68 Ultra Cameo, and I have them at a great, great collector-friendly price. I've got the 71S, 72S. Look at the Cameo contrast on these coins, folks. These are just snow white frosted Cameos. These are in the I Like Ike holders, and there's a 74S, meaning I have reviewed every single one of these coins for exceptional quality and eye appeal for the date and grade. I've reviewed every single one, and those are the only coins that go into the I Like Ike holders that you see here. And then the 76S silver. And then I've got a bonus coin. And the bonus coin is a Clad Type 1, which is actually in a signature holder, which is identical to the I Like holder, except for the fact that it actually has my signature to verify to you that I've reviewed the coin. But any coin that goes into the I Like holder has been reviewed by yours truly. I've written books on coins. I've made a lot of different coin presentations, and I thought one of the best contributions I could make to the collecting public of today and future generations is to offer my expertise when reviewing these coins. And that is what these custom I Like holders are all about. It's your guarantee that I've used my expertise to make sure that every coin that goes into one of these holders has exceptional quality and eye appeal for the date and grade. So I'm putting my reputation on the line with every coin I review, and there is a big difference. Sasha's got some coins to show you so you can see the difference between a regular Ike and a high-grade Ultra Cameo or Deep Cameo holder and one of my core holders with the I Like Ike label on it. Here you see a 1976S silver. This one happens to be graded by PCGS. It's a 6.9 Deep Cameo. But put it next to this 6/8 Ultra Cameo in my I Like Ike core holder. Look at the difference in contrast, folks. For one of these coins to go into my custom NGC holder, the coin first has to be reviewed by the graders at NGC. And then they send the coin to me. And if I approve of the coin, if I think it's really exceptional and I appeal and Cameo contrast and quality for the date and grade, it goes into this special pedigree holder. And you can see there's a significant difference. Here's another one, comparing a Clad Type 1. The Clad Type 1 bicentennial is the rarest date in the series in Ultra Cameo condition. And here you could see the difference between a coin that doesn't meet my standard on the left and the coin that does on the right. And there's a huge difference, folks. And then there are the Ikes that might meet the technical grade, but again, I stress, eye appeal and Cameo contrast. And these coins have unattractive toning. Their eye appeal is less than exceptional. And again, the toning on these coins comes from that original government packaging. So, exceptional proof Ikes. Sasha has a few comps for you, just to give you an idea of what some of these Ikes are selling for. Here's a 71S 6/8 decam for $195. Here's a 72S for $125. There's a 74S for $300. Here's what I have. If you just want a 1971S, take a look at one of these 6/8 Ultra Cameo. I've got these coins for only $75. $75. If you want a 72S, 72S is also $75. 73S, the lowest mintage issue in the series in proof. They struck just over 1 million examples. It is a tough date, but it is only $89. You know, back in the early 1980s, when these coins just came out, raw 1973S's in original government holders were selling for $175. That was 45 years ago when silver was, around $35, $40 an ounce. And here I have this coin in 6/8 Ultra Cameo for only $89. A beautiful Ultra Cameo. The 74S, almost as low a mintage as the 73S, also $89. And finally, the 76S, bicentennial, $75. Now, if you want all five, you can get all five in the Eisenhower pedigree holder for only $399. Now I have this bonus coin, the 76S Clad Type 1. What makes this coin so rare? Take a look at the population numbers that I have here of coins in the Eisenhower core holder. You can see the 71S through the 76S, the 76S Clad Type 1 at the very bottom, only 64 graded in 6/8 Ultra, 60 in 6/9 Ultra. Again, these are coins that I have certified, that I've given my approval to in this Eisenhower pedigree NGC core holder. And the Clad Type 1 is the toughest coin in the series in Ultra Cameo. Now, why is that? Because of the hardness of the cupro nickel planchet. And this is one of the things that made the Eisenhower dollars so challenging, especially those that were struck on the cupro nickel planchet. There was a great article that came out. It was called The Metallurgy of Ike Dollars. And in this article, a very scientific article, here's the takeaway from this. When they started striking these large cupro nickel planchets, they had used them on the half dollars and the quarters before, but those were smaller planchets that required less die pressure. When they got to these large Ike dollars, made out of the same cupro nickel material, required a lot of die pressure, and these planchets were very hard. And this steel that they were using wasn't up to it. And here's what the article says. They call it die sink. Die sink occurs when the dies deform to a very small degree as opposed to remaining completely rigid when contacting the planchet under full pressure. And the steel they were using was not strong enough for these Eisenhower cupro nickel planchets. So the mint had to come up with a new, harder steel. that would be able to strike these Kupro-nickel Ike dollars without deforming. And that's one of the great inventions, if you will, of the Eisenhower dollar series, that they began using this harder steel to strike these very hard coins, and that's the steel that they've been using ever since. So the Clad Type 1 is the toughest in the series. Once you get to 1977, 78, again, they had more success with the preparation of these Cameo dies. And so those later years in the Eisenhower dollar series are much easier to find in ultra cameo condition. 76S Type 1, key date. Now, this coin by itself is $279 in 6/8 ultra cameo. But if you get the set, the entire set is only $599. $599. Folks, individually, that comes to $682. You get the set, it's only $599, a savings of $83 of 6 exceptional proof Eisenhower dollars in 6/8 ultra cameo that meet my standards of what an ultra cameo Eisenhower dollar should look like. The highest standards. This is what my pedigree is all about, using my expertise to guarantee you that you get the finest possible eye appeal and quality for the date and grade, so that when you pass these coins down to your kids, your grandkids, you can rest assured that they are getting an exceptional coin for the date and grade. They're just not getting a number on the holder. Again, Sasha, if you could show them one more time a comparison of the two coins, there's a huge difference, folks, a huge difference between a coin that's, to be charitable, it's on the really low end of the deep cameo spectrum, that coin on the left. Look at that coin on the right. This is what's so great about doing this on camera. Can't use any Photoshop to doctor the picture. What you see is what you get. Spectacular ultra cameo. And that's where the value is. So I hope you can take advantage of this. This is a great opportunity. I'm currently cleaned out of the 6/9 Ultra Cameos. I have a small quantity of these in 6/8 Ultra Cameo. It's a limited quantity because I have a limit on the Clad Type 1s. I think I only have 21 Type 1s in 6/8 Ultra Cameo. That's it. So I hope you take advantage of it. Thank you for watching this presentation that really offers you, our preferred client, so much opportunity, so much quality, so much beauty and rarity for so few of your numismatic dollars. Thanks again.